What can Brown do for you? Well, he can deliver a diesel-powered 24th consecutive scoreless inning. The Astros top the Blue Jays. We're going to talk about this, the lineup shakeup, and who closed out the game. Let's talk about it right now.
Yainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We update you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Dockstros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. And on Instagram, make sure you go to H-Town_Wheelhouse and Stros411 on Facebook, on Instagram, and X, and at Back to the Bullpen on Instagram, on iHeartRadio, and on YouTube. Look, I'm always positive. I love watching Hunter Brown pitch. Always Stros.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go ahead and check us out. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You know that the NBA playoffs is here. So right now, new customers can get $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bets wins. So Brett, I know that before the season, a lot of people were talking about Joe Espada wanting to have Yordan Alvarez batting second. And then I think that Paredes kind of talked him out of it, or the way that Paredes can take some pitches talked him out of it. But instead, he had a situation where
keep going.
Got it? So where it was a situation where
we have the wrong placard. I'm gonna change it while you're going. Go.
Okay, so I have it here. I can just do it real quick. Sorry, I forgot to put it up there. But basically, I don't know if this is a permanent thing or if this is just something for right now. But it was a situation where, with the offense struggling the way it was, this was a situation to maybe switch things up and maybe get Alvarez out at 3-hole a little bit and get Paredes batting second. Granted, they didn't both have this dynamic game like that DeZenzo did, but it was a way to get some offense going, and the Astros responded. Granted, it was the bottom of the order that scored a lot of runs, but it was 7 runs. The Blue Jays had 0 runs. The Astros had 10 hits. The Blue Jays 2 hits. This was a tale of multiple different facets going well, and in this case, Hunter Brown was on top of his game, but the 4 runs in the 5th inning was a big highlight.
No, yeah, definitely, because up until then it was a pitcher's duel. Kevin Gausman, we talked. He's had a decent amount of success versus the Astros. He hasn't been lights out, but he's still Kevin Gausman. He is a very good pitcher, one of the top pitchers in the league. And coming off the game that the Blue Jays did, where they got beat by, I think, a grand slam by their old catcher or their old first baseman Tellez, wherever he's playing now. You would think that they would be like, okay, let's go out here, let's battle. But look, Hunter Brown could have had 12 or 13 strikeouts tonight. The umpire was really inconsistent, calling stuff off the plate strikes, calling stuff on the corner of the box balls. I mean, there was one, I think it was the 2nd inning that he was pitching where he dotted up the strike zone 2 times in a row, and the guy ended up popping out, which is fine, but he could have had that 10th strikeout. He's only had 1 10 strikeout game. So this is his 24th straight scoreless inning. Okay. He struck out 9. It is his 6th career 9 strikeout game. He has 1 10K game. He has 8 games where he has 8 Ks, 14 games at 7. And I captured a picture that someone took and posted on X. There was a tradition that was started when we had, Garcia, Javier, when we had all of our guys from the DR, all our Latino pitchers, and they would walk to the outfield and they would watch the pitchers pitch, and they've done this for years. And it was great to see Hunter Brown there and all the pitchers behind him watching him warming up, something that the Astros do. I don't know that every club does that, but the Astros have done that. And Joe Espada said before the game, he is our leader when it comes to pitching in the clubhouse.
And to build off of Hunter Brown, he is the 5th Astros pitcher to record 3 consecutive starts of 6 or more scoreless innings.
Wow.
The last was Roy Oswalt in 2008. The others are Roger Clemens, J.R. Richard, and Don Wilson. So this is something that hasn't.
It's elite company.
Yeah, this doesn't happen a lot. So what we see is Hunter Brown turning into the Astros ace. I know that we talked about this before the season, even before Farmer Valdez threw his first pitch. We're like, is this the time when Hunter Brown takes that next step?
Yeah.
Ace, because we don't know if Valdez is going to be here past this season. Likely he's not. So the Astros need an ace. They're not going to go out there and trade for an ace, but they have their ace right here. And I think Hunter Brown is answering a call. He threw 96 pitches, 61 of them are strikes. He had 12 whiffs. He averaged 97.6 miles per hour, and he's actually throwing a lot harder this year. He's hitting 99 miles per hour at certain times. He's allowed 87.7 miles average exit velocity, and his ERA is all the way down to 1.16. So this is a guy that's determined to get better. This is a guy that struggled a little bit. I believe it was his second year in the big leagues. The league adjusted to him, and then he adjusted back. And that's what you see with the good pitchers. You see the pitchers kind of stumble a little bit after the initial success, but then they realize what they need to do to be successful, and they take the next step and become this superstar. And that's what we're seeing with Hunter Brown. And I think that he's going to do nothing but great things with the Houston Astros.
Yeah, watching him going back to his days in Sugarland when he was a Skeeter before they were the Space Cowboys. Sitting there watching them with my friend Mark White and just talking about how like this kid is going to be the ace of the ball club. And hearkening back to that conversation I had with them after him and Yiner were picked for the Futures game. And I said, Hunter, congratulations, making the Futures game. He said, I appreciate it. But what I want to do, and that was in 2022, he said, I want to be on that mound. At the time it was Minute Maid, and I want to help the Astros win a World Series. And what did he do? He did it. And he came in, he came out of the bullpen. He had key moments. And the biggest point that they were trying to stress with him before he got called up, and the reason why he wasn't a late call up till 2022 was because of his command. He could not keep the ball in the strike zone. And now, I mean, it looks like he's throwing a beach ball and it turns into a pebble right when it gets to the plate, because he is absolutely just mowing guys down. And if you notice, a couple times he got bad calls, he almost every time came back with 99 plus. I mean, the thing I like about him, when he pitches pissed off, he actually gets more accurate. A lot of pitchers get emotional and they lose their handle or they overthrow, or you know what I'm saying? And that's when the guys spike the baseball into the dirt. That's when you get wild pitches. And Hunter Brown has done an excellent job. And if Yiner Diaz doesn't have any other value on this team other than being behind the plate and catching, then that needs to be highlighted here, because he is catching Hunter Brown, and he caught Hunter Brown tonight. And he's also another part of the reason why. So Yiner's still struggling at the plate, but he's still helping the pitchers. And that's a key point.
One more thing on Hunter Brown. He is currently 4th in the American League in terms of ERA. He's behind Tyler Mahle with the Rangers, Chris Bassett, who the Astros are facing tomorrow, Garrett Crochet with the Red Sox. And so he is 4th. Mahle has a 0.68. Bassett has a 0.77. And then you have Crochet with 1.13 ERA. So, yes, if he does win the Cy Young this year, the Astros would get an extra draft pick because of the incentive to bring up your prospects. And so that is tied to him. So that's for 3 years. So that is
Okay. See, I didn't know. I thought it was literally the year. So
No.
okay, that now that makes more sense. The 3 years. I don't know how I missed that. Okay, that's awesome.
Now if let's say Cam Smith wins rookie year and then you have Hunter Brown get the Cy Young, you only get one draft pick. You don't get two for one. So you only get one per season. So if both those things happen, I'll be a happy person because that means the Astros will have a great season. And guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
Well, everybody, if you watched Sunday night, it was a great start to a Rockets game. It didn't end the way we wanted it to. That's okay. We got game 2 on Wednesday against the Golden State Warriors, and we know the NBA playoffs are here. You got Boston in the East, who's trying to do a back-to-back thing. You've got LeBron trying to get through the playoffs. I mean, look, people are out there and they're hungry, and you probably are hungry too. So FanDuel's giving new customers an incredible way to feed that hunger and get in the action right now. When you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. You know, I love how FanDuel makes the betting easy, whether it's picking your favorite team or diving into player props from three-pointers to steals to assists. FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live props into same-game parlays for a chance to win big. So don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today at FanDuel.
Hey guys, thank you for making us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. Go and help us get to 14,000 subscribers. We are so close. We just need you to go ahead and hit that little red button down there that says subscribe. It takes a second and you'll make 2 Astros fans very happy. I know Astros fans are very happy because now the Astros are back at 11-11. They're back at 500. Now we're just waiting to get over 500. And we are, despite everything that's happened this year, the Astros are way and above a better team than they were last year. Yes, the offense has not really shown what they can do, but maybe this is a step in the right direction. I do want to talk about DeZenzo in a little bit. He is obviously probably the player of the game, but I do want to talk about the change in the lineup. And I don't know if this is a permanent thing, but Christian Walker was told that he was going to get the day off. This was his first day off. He's been struggling a lot. He had that big home run in Saturday's game. Yeah. But otherwise, he's been struggling a little bit. And after yesterday's game, Espada went to him and said, hey, I'm going to go and give you the day off. I'm going to give you some time to think about things and give him a breather. And I think he just needed to be off and relax and probably watch from the dugout, and then go and get him tomorrow. And so this was one of the lineup change that opened the door for DeZenzo. The other part was the fact that he went ahead and swapped. We already know that he's moved up Pena in the batting order, but he went ahead and swapped Alvarez and Paredes, batting second and third. I don't know if that was just based on what the analytics says or if this is something that they're going to be doing more often. But maybe this is something that they're going to try just to get the offense going. So he just said, just to change it up a little bit. Paredes has been so good with men in scoring position, and just wanted to get some people on ahead of Paredes. That was his thoughts.
You know, I absolutely love it. I mean, when this team literally, Mike Stanton sent me a picture earlier, and he said, I think the elephant in the room has arrived. And he showed me a picture of all of our records, 5-5 in the last 10 games, series record 4-3. And then it said, when scoring 4 runs or more, 5-1. Mm-hmm. Now we're 6-1. So it's amazing what happens when you score 4 runs. Scoring 3 runs or fewer, 5-10. So the Houston Astros just got their second shutout tonight. They do much better when they put a 4 on the board. So let's do that more often. But Eric, this whole lineup shakeup, everybody did do their part. And look, even though Paredes got the one hit, it was still a different look. Yordan Alvarez got an RBI single. He hasn't even been getting RBIs. I mean, he got a sac fly the other day. Look at this. Rogers 2 for 4 today with 2 RBI. DeCenzo 2 for 3 with 1 RBI. Smith 1 for 3. Diaz, I know he's 1 for 4. I know people want him hitting more. Jake, gosh darn it, you move him out of the 9 hole and he goes 0 for 4. Maybe Jake needs to be dropped again, Eric. But someone's saying, and I was looking for the actual quote, but apparently Zach DeCenzo, we're hearing that Joe Espada has acknowledged that he's going to play again tomorrow. Now, I haven't seen that officially, but that's what I think someone's watching the post-game on TV and probably heard the little post-game press conference. No one's quoted it. But Eric, guess who closed out the game?
Be Forrest Whitley, the former first-round pick, and this was a big deal. This is his first appearance of 2025. This is a guy that a lot of people gave up on. Be honest, a lot of people gave up on him and said this guy would never pitch for the Astros. The Astros thought so much of him that they actually petitioned to Major League Baseball for an extra year of eligibility for them to hold on to him, and it pays off. And is he going to be the answer in a bullpen? Probably. He's probably the missing piece. You traded Ryan Presley. By the way, he got Ryan Presley's number. I don't know if you noticed that, but so now he is probably going to be the Ryan Presley in this situation. And he went out there today. Granted, it's his first appearance, but he went out there, pitched 2 shutout innings. He had 2 strikeouts. One of them, unfortunately, reached base, but he was able to, because it was pass ball by, I believe it was Diaz, because it hit his shin guard. But otherwise, he looked good out there. He had the floor working. He had the speed, 97 point something miles per hour. He had everything working for him. And he didn't look like this. He didn't like the first time around. He looked like he had the stuff, but he didn't look like he had the confidence. This time he looked like he had the confidence, and he looks like somebody that's going to help the Houston Astros. And you need that. And some more. We'll talk about this a little bit later. Ort's going to be coming back pretty soon as well.
That's great to hear. So check this out, Eric. Forrest Whitley has failed to give up a run in his major league career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
4 games, no runs. He's got a 0 ERA. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Whitley haters. I've been on the team Whitley train forever. I have never jumped off. I have always ridden with this kid. I didn't jump off the Whitley train as much as I jumped off the McCullers train there for a while, but it's really good to see McCullers coming back. Someone sent me a message today asking me what the update on him was. Last I heard, he was playing catch. He had that stomach flu you and I talked about the other night. But do we have an official update on LMJ?
Yes.
Okay.
He will throw a bullpen tomorrow on Wednesday. So it's either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how he's feeling. And he could make another rehab start on this weekend at some point, either Saturday or Sunday. And then from there, they'll determine the next step. The 30-day window is almost officially up for his rehab stint, but they can always extend it because of the stomach virus. So that's something that they could do. But I think that there's probably a need to, especially with Gusto. Like I said, he went out there and pitched well. But I think they would like to go to a 6-man rotation and Lance McCullers of all. Forrest Whitley, he needed this win. He needed to come back after everything that has been going on in his path to get here. Lance McCullers has gone through a lot to get back here. And he is chipping at the bit to get back up here. And the Astros want to see what he can do because the Astros, I've got a secret for you. The Astros are going to go through a lot of starting pitching this year. And Lance McCullers, if he is the answer, the Astros need to figure it out pretty quickly.
So I have a question. Should we give a thought to seeing about picking up Tristan McKenzie out of Cleveland? Did you see he was DFA'd?
Yeah.
I was like, someone from Astros Twitter community posted like this whole reel of him like striking out people with amazing stuff. And they're like, the Astros have pitching wizards. Why don't we? I'm like, look, I don't think you can ever have too much pitching. And I don't know where he would fall. I don't know where we fall in, I guess he would have to be claimed off the waivers. But, it's interesting to think what people are they going to have out there. Look, we're gonna have a personnel issue. We're gonna have too many people to house a pitching spot if we're not careful once LMJ and once everybody comes back.
Have you watched the Astros in recent years? You need that pitching, Brett.
I know.
That pitching.
Oh, I know. But I mean, and my whole point is it's a good problem to have.
Right.
DeCenzo needs more playing time. Remember, I called him as my breakout player 2025. He just needs opportunities.
Yeah, we'll go and continue this discussion next on the Locked On Astros podcast. Hey guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. So a lot of us thought that, hey, this Jose Altuve thing, it's not going to work. He can't play left field. This Cam Smith thing, he's too young. He hasn't had a lot of playing time in right field. This isn't going to work. DeCenzo is going to get his playing time. By the way, Altuve did misplay that ball a little bit, but I think with more experience, maybe seeing the rotation going down, maybe he'll get that. Make that play.
Which ball did he misplay?
It didn't misplay it. He maybe could have caught that or made a diving effort for that. Down the road.
Where it bounced and he jumped up to get it on the bounce?
Yeah.
That dude's 5'6". There's no way a stretched out Jose Altuve, maybe a stretched out Alprin Şengün would be able to get that. No, a 5'6" Jose Altuve, he would have dove and it would have done more damage. That could have really changed the trajectory of the game at the time. I thought he played it smart.
Yeah.
Now, the very last out, did you see Smith and Myers almost collide?
Yeah.
And the only reason why Smith caught it is because he's taller.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that I like the fact that after that play, whether he could have dove or whatever, him and Jake Myers were talking about it. Hey, what could I have done different? How could I have improved that play? So that's what I like about Jose Altuve. The problem is with Smith having the success, he has the second best OPS on the team right now. And you have Altuve has the best OPS on the team right now, playing left and right field. Then you have Christian Walker. You spent all this money on during the offseason. You don't really have a place for, and then you have Paredes playing third base. You don't really have a place for DeCenzo. And I remember Espada saying, well, we're not going to have them both on there because DeCenzo deserves to play, Smith deserves to play, and they have not found a way to get both of these guys on the roster or in the But this, Brett, DeCenzo did all this. This was his first start in 9 days.
I know. No. In when I saw him, my first thought was, why are we starting him 9 days cold against Kevin Gausman? Like, what are we doing here?
To change things up.
Look, Eric, I know
and you need somebody to play first base.
I know to change things up. But my point being the emphasis on the 9-day absence and facing Kevin Gausman, not playing.
I know.
I don't mind playing him after 9 days off, but against Kevin Gausman, wow, he did a great job. And look, Brendan Rodgers, right here, Chris Reyes said Brendan Rodgers did a great job right here. I'm sorry, Supreme Panda, I gave the wrong person credit. But Eric, I'm sitting here looking at this and our averages and our OPSs keep rising. And that's a good thing. Dude, Brendan Rodgers hitting 250. He's hitting 250. If you had on your bingo card, Brendan Rodgers, Jake Myers, and Cam Smith would be contributors to the Astros at this point in the season. Before the season started, I would say first, who is Cam Smith? Brendan Rodgers, we're going to trade for him, and there's no way Jake Myers is going to be that guy. But look, they're doing what they need to do. You string together these wins, you get another win tomorrow, you win another series. I mean, it's all about just one game at a time. Now you're taking on the American League. Do it big. Why not? 7-0.
I guess, Brett Chancey, you did not witness the Tucker trade. You did not know who Cam Smith was. Okay. I see you.
No, dude. Okay.
I know
Who
what
in
you're talking about.
Houston? Hold on. No, I'm not gonna let you throw me under the bus. Who in Houston was talking about Cam Smith? Nobody. Maybe prospect guys were talking about Cam Smith. I knew about Matt Shaw because he was a higher prospect who, might I add, has already been relegated to AAA from Chicago because he failed miserably. And we got the guy that we should have picked. But I'm just telling you, man, what's going on here is not, this is going to be a different season, unlike we've seen in the past. Right. Just hold on to your butts.
Yeah. And it's not going to be this team is not built like the old Astros team. This is a team that's going to struggle a little bit offensively at times. You've seen it so far, but at the same rate, their bullpen, we might be frustrated with the Luis Contrerases of the world, but they have the fourth best ERA. Let me just make sure I said that right. Yeah, the fourth best ERA in the bullpen right now. In terms, it's 2.80 bullpen ERA. So the bullpen is getting the job done. Yes, we might remember the blown saves. That's with the inflated ERA of Contreras. So the rest of the guys are getting it done. They're also relying a lot on the fastball. The Astros bullpen is throwing the most fastball in the league. So the Astros, they have the success, the factors that could lead to success. They just got to put it all together. They have the starting pitching if they can stay healthy. Stay consistent. I'm talking to you, Frommer. You got to stay consistent and be, and we got to have health. You got to have Spencer Arrighetti come back and be that guy that he was in the second half of last year. This team can create some noise like it did last year. And this team is already in a better position than it was last year. But also the AL West is also more competitive. And the A's, wherever they are in the standings, they just brought up their top prospect right now.
Well, hey, good for them. Just bring them up to be on a losing team, right? Sorry. We now have a +5 run differential. We're tied with the Mariners in that department. The Rangers are -14 and they're still 13-9. But get this, Eric, we have a lower strikeout rate than the LA Dodgers. That's pretty impressive. We're averaging almost 10 walks on our walk percentage for, we're at 9.1 walks per plate appearance. Okay, 9.1%. What I'm saying is we are trending in the right direction offensively. The pitching has been there. If the pitching can sustain itself, if the pitching can hold tight to its reign on the opponents, then things will keep going our way. Someone like Christian Walker, though, has got to get off the tarmac. This guy has got to turn it around because it is not good to have a guy that's getting paid $60 million to be an all-star. And, of course, now the microscope's even, more tight on him where he made a couple bad plays. I guess it was yesterday's game. But he didn't have great chances either. He had a lot of tough scoops that he had to make, and it just didn't look good. So it was like, oh, look, he can't even, he can't even play the field now because of, he's just a terrible guy. And we've got to focus on what's going right. I would just like to see DeCenzo in there more often. It seems like if you're hot, you stay in. If you're not, you sit the bench.
Well, if you want to know why the Rangers are where they are, their starting pitching has a 2.85 ERA for number 2 in baseball. If the Angels are where they are because they are 11th in baseball with a 3.77 ERA. The Astros are in the middle of the pack in terms of starting pitching with a 3.91 ERA. You expect the Mariners with their pitching, but they've struggled a little bit. Their starting pitching is at 4.13. And then if you scroll all the way down here, let me get my glasses on. They're not that bad. But the A's starting ERA is 4.36 on the season. And surprisingly enough, this team that was built to go to the World Series this year, starting pitching, bringing in Charlie Morton, and you have all these other guys, the Orioles, they have the worst starting pitching in the American League. Actually, in baseball. 6.611.
Well, look, and the Yankees continue to impress me. I still I still stand by my picking them not to make the playoffs. Maybe that was a really dumb move on my part with losing Juan Soto. I just didn't think offensively they were going to get it done, and they scored 130 runs. The only team that scored more than them is the Chicago Cubs, and the Chicago Cubs are only 4 games over 500 with their 145 games because they've given up 104 runs. Oh, let's look at the Astros. The Astros pitchers haven't even given up 80 runs yet, Eric. 79. Let me see. Is there anybody else that's better? The Padres are 2 runs better. Yeah. I mean, look, we have given up. No, the Padres are 2 runs. Yeah. So we're second, they're first, and runs given up. That right there, over the long haul, you get pitchers back, and those guys are healthy, and they contribute. Look, it's a team sport. And when your 1 through 4 guys aren't doing it, your 7 through 9 guys are. They showed Jake Myers tonight is top 5 in the 7 through 9 guys. He's performing the best out of all of them. You know what? Get Jake out of the 5-hole. Could put him back in the 7 through 9, please. No more 5-hole Jake or 6-hole Jake, okay?
All I know is that the Yankees, their starting pitching is 9-6 with a 4.74 ERA. Thanks to their torpedo bats. So, Brett, that's all we got. I do want to talk a little bit about tomorrow's game. It's going to be Ronel Blanco, I believe, against Chris Bassett. This is definitely an interesting situation because Bassett is having a great season. ERA is 0.77. Then Blanco is 6.48. So he's not having as great a season. But maybe we'll see what happens. On one plus side, Alvarez in his career against Bassett has 5 home runs against him. So maybe the big fella batting second will get a home run. So that's all we got for this edition of Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey, and we will see you tomorrow. And Brett, what do we always say?
Go Stros. Why did you lower the music that low? You can't even hear it.
Oh.